Welcome back to the podcast. We are here August 17th on a Monday. This video is going to be the UFC 252 recap and full breakdown of the entire card of Miocic versus Cormier 3. Insane pay-per-view card. Tons of things that I would have never expected did happen. I apologize that I wasn't able to put out a video for Friday for the main card breakdown, but I would have got those wrong anyway. Those last three, they went horribly. Totally, I didn't expect none of that. One was a weird injury, and the other two were pretty shocking. Well, one of them was. The other one, it wasn't really. So we're going to go through a full breakdown of the 11 bouts in this fight card. Starting with the first one, Kai Kamaka III going up against Tony Kelly. In the prelim video, I had Tony Kelly in this one. I thought he was going to be able to really come at Kai Kamaka and have more power than him, because that was one of the things I seen that Kai Kamaka lacks. He's able to take a punch, but he doesn't give as much. But Tony Kelly had huge giveaways. The way that he ducked his head under, it was very susceptible to uppercuts and straight right crosses. And it was repeatedly in the first and second and third round. Tony Kelly had one little bright spot, but it was quickly turned around with referee stoppage, and then they restarted back up again. And Kai Kamaka continued to beater and batter Tony Kelly over and over again. Got the decision in that fight. That's probably pretty much his last time in the UFC, unless he needs to provide something else. Maybe some wrestling, some grappling. His stand-up is not up to par yet. Kai Kamaka is a young prospect, but he doesn't have much talent either. So this is pretty much a wash. Next fight, we have Chris Daukaus going up against Parker Porter. It was a heavyweight fight. Parker Porter was coming in at 260, and this is the reason why he lost. He's just too big, too fat, and too slow. Chris Daukaus is a cop from Philadelphia, does UFC part-time, is the older brother of Kyle Daukaus, who we seen a couple of cards ago. So he definitely has that BJJ background. And then his hands were super quick, which took advantage of big, fat, slow Parker Porter. And he finished him very easily with a TKO in that first round. I'm very excited to see Chris Daukaus come back. Parker Porter, a father of three, really look forward to this opportunity in the UFC, but a huge letdown. You got to be in shape, man. You can't think just because it's the heavyweight limit that you don't even wrestle. Like, what do you need cardio to go through these rounds, and you just came. Like, I didn't think you took this seriously at all, but whatever. You got your loss. You got your opportunity and then got your loss. Chris Daukaus, very good performance. We're moving on to the third fight. Lavinia Souza going up against Ashley Yoder. I told you Ashley Yoder was given an opportunity in the UFC by the grace of God, because she pretty much lost her initial fight in that Contender Series, but the judges somehow gave it to her. You can tell by her record, it's 7-6. These are all red flags. She likes to keep her distance, throw leg kicks and punches, and then move in and out. Lavinia, on the other hand, is going to get at you. She is a small, tough little girl, and she put it on Ashley Yoder for 3 rounds over and over, and it was pretty much a really clean and easy decision for Lavinia Souza. Ashley Yoder, you're on your way out of the UFC. You're 7-6. It's not looking good. Let me see. Are you on a 3-fight losing streak? They tend to give you like 3 or 4 fights, and then you get cut. I mean, I understand you got a pretty face, but you need to put up wins. So you got your 3-fight losing streak. You were on your last chance against Amanda Cooper. Now you're about to be. You can get one more loss, and then you're almost on your way out as well. But she's not a good prospect at all. All right, and we're moving on to the next fight. It was between Danny Chavez and TJ Brown. In the prelim video, I had TJ Brown. I was leaning towards that. But after further review, especially with the weigh-ins, TJ Brown came in overweight. And I told you that is a huge sign and is a dead giveaway that some of these fighters are not ready. They're gassed out. and they really didn't prepare for the fight that they signed up for. Danny Chavez clearly was. He pulled away in that second and third round with nice takedowns and a better stand-up than TJ Brown. Caught him a couple times and really put him on him, and it looked very favorable to the judges in their eyes. Danny Chavez got a very nice win over TJ Brown, improving to 11-3. Next fight, we have another women's bout. Virna Chandroba going up against Felix Herrig. Felix, you're like 36, 37. It's pretty much over for you. I told you when we looked at Virna's record, all you saw was finishes, different type of chokes. She's 16-1 for a reason. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner for a reason. She was going to get a finish, and she did. She got an armbar in the first round. Pretty quick work in the first 2 minutes, which is pretty embarrassing. And she's moving on. I'm really looking forward to her. Not many women, not many women bouts you get to see a finish in them. They're usually decisions. So this was definitely a bright spot on this card and for that women's division. Next fight, we have Vince Pichel going up against Jim Miller. Vince Pichel got the win. This was definitely a bout of who's a better grappler and wrestler. Jim Miller, when he gets you down, he tries to control you, doesn't really hit you with the ground and pound. Vince Pichel, on the other hand, he makes you pay for it. Get you on the ground, huge elbows, huge ground and pound, huge hammer fists. And it was a beating that Vince Pichel put on Jim Miller in each and every round. They can take advantage. Jim Miller can take advantage of these young guys like Roosevelt Roberts. But when you're facing a dude that is just as experienced as you, 35 years old, has just as good as grappling as you met your match. All right. And now we're going into the main card. Merab Davashvili going up against John Dodson. This one I was going back and forth on. I was leaning toward Dodson, but just if you think about it, Dodson's like 5'3". Merab Davashvili is a huge, smothering dude. And despite the fact that Dodson has good takedown defense, Merab is just too strong. So all that trying to hold yourself against the fence and stuff takedowns, Merab just lifted him up in the air. And it was just rinse and repeat the whole fight. It wasn't like Merab blew him away. It was just that he was out pointing John Dodson in every round. Okay, it wasn't dismantling, but John Dodson is definitely coming to the end of his career. Did very well for his size and weight, but Merab Davashvili moves on again, another win, very dominating fashion. Next fight, we have Daniel Pineda beating Herbert Burns. The hype train of Herbert Burns is finally coming to it, and I told you that this dude is a fraud, pretty much. I understand his brother's Gilbert Burns, and since 2 years ago, both of these guys have turned their career around. I believed in Gilbert, but Herbert, I watched the film. He was able to use his Brazilian jiu-jitsu and got very nice KOs. Well, 2 finishes in the first round in the last 2 fights. Took advantage of some good guys, some talented guys. But Daniel Pineda is tons of more experience than you. You only have 14 fights. Daniel Pineda has 40. And he's a black belt jiu-jitsu as well. Compared to your black belt jiu-jitsu, you don't have the experience that Daniel Pineda has. He's been in wars. He's already been in the UFC, across the country in other fighting elements. And he came back to the UFC, took advantage of this, and destroyed you with his ground and pound and his elbows. Huge win for Daniel Pineda and a very big underdog. Next fight was Jairzinho Rozenstruik going up against Junior Dos Santos, the 5th ranked heavyweight. These 2 guys were teammates, and they're teammates in the same camp. So it was pretty, meaningful and emotional for both of these guys. It came down to business. Both of you guys are mainly strikers. Rozenstruik is a kickboxer. Junior Dos Santos doesn't really take down people, but he has a very good stand-up. And that's why I was leaning to Junior Dos Santos. But Jairzinho, man, he has some serious power. and put it away in round 2. Even though Junior Dos Santos looked very good in round 1, something happened. Jorginho took advantage of Junior Dos Santos and finished him off in that second round with huge ground and pound after a right hook that he had took. Next fight, this was very, very, very disappointing. It wasn't his fault. Sean O'Malley, the Sugar Show against Marlon Chito Vera. O'Malley got injured early in that first round. He broke his foot trying to do a stutter step, or it probably was already injured with before he even got out to the ring. So it was just devastating. He got carted off. Marlon Vera took advantage of the fact that Sean O'Malley was injured. Knocked him down on the floor. Herb Dean saw that clearly Sean O'Malley was injured and called it off pretty early after he was taking some big elbows. So hopefully Sean O'Malley comes back healthy. Take your rest. Come back early in 2021. And one day you'll get your rematch against Marlon Vera because you're definitely better than him. He got the best of you today because of injury. That's fine. Chito Vera, you deserve to be in the top 15. Keep pushing, but I'm definitely looking forward to a rematch between you two guys, all right? And then last but not least, the main event, Stipe Miocic going up against Daniel Cormier, the trilogy. In this. Cormier wanted to go out on top in his swan song, but Stipe was just too much, and he got to Daniel Cormier in the first, in the third, in the fourth, and the fifth round. Daniel Cormier took a big eye poke from round 2 on. He wasn't able to see, so that was hampering him as well. Stipe Miocic was better to output on Daniel Cormier in those final 3 rounds and got the nod from the judges and got the unanimous decision from the judges and continue and still is the heavyweight championship of UFC. Now, Stipe, he's got to go up against some big guys. I don't know if he's going to retire soon because he might need to. He has to go up against probably either Curtis Blades or I forget now. I forget. Ngannou, thank you. Or Ngannou. Both of those two guys are beasts, and it's probably not going to be looking good for him. He's probably going to have to bow out like Daniel Cormier as well. I appreciate you, Daniel Cormier. You tried your best, but you're still a legend in my book, all right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessNSJD, and I will see you guys tomorrow.